Hello everyone. I will continue to talk about it following last time. Sunbin was a military strategist who surfaced to Bangyan. Bangyan thought that Sunbin would be an obstacle to him in the future. By telling lies, he convinced the king to execute Sunbin. Sunbin was on the brink of dying without even using the art of war, something that only he knew. On the execution ground, Bangyan looked at Sunbin with a sad face and told him that he would plead with the king to start the execution. Eventually Sunbin got out alive, but became crippled for life. When he craved at never being able to using his strategy, Bangyan prevented to comfort him and told him not to leave as if he fight the battle instead of him. Not knowing Bangyan's plan, he decided to hand down the art of war and started to write a book. By chance, however, he realized that everything was Bangyan's strength. So he made a plan to escape from Bangyan. Even though his leg was disabled, Bangyan was a man who smiled but stabbed Sunbin in the back. There are still a lot of people just like him these days. I often dream about still being in North Korea. In my dream, I worry about how I am going to escape and then wake up soon. I want to stop having these nightmares. And that's why my heart attends when I think of North Korea, whose entire life are only nightmares. All North Korean want to see the world outside of North Korea, and after a lot of consideration, I choose South Korea over a lot of options. There are a few ways to go to South Korea from North Korea, via China, Russia, the sea, the sky, and the PNG. To take the first route via China, I had to learn basic Chinese. So I tried to find a way to learn Chinese. I found out that there was an app to learn Chinese in North Korean phone. But in North Korea, people have to work at least for a year to save enough money to buy a mobile phone. And that was basically impossible for a person like me who was serving in the military. The North Korea reason forced people to give up their youth to serve for 10 years in the military, while giving them no payment at all. And so, it is only natural that soldiers ask for their family for money. And if they don't ask, it means he's doing well in the military. I tried to find out how I could buy a phone, but the only way was to become a thief. I think a better term would be a Robin Hood figure than a thief, because these were people who worked but never received any money. To be frank, the biggest thief in North Korea is Kim Jong-un, and the closer they are to him, the worse they are. I was the furthest man from him, so you could say that I was the most honest one. I had to be Robin Hood for my right to live and to escape. One day, the base I was placed was given the task to construct a seaside leader. The commander who was about to retire also began gathering workers for his own house. That's when the first goal finally appeared to me. It is only natural that he would need a house from when he was discharged from the military. But my superior was glad, which was unheard of in the socialist ideology. The commander wasted more materials and human resources for his house than was needed to build another house. Despite the fact that the soldiers he forced to work very slept and ate. He didn't say a word of thanks. Ultimately, the commander was asleep about military regulation and principles to his subordinates. But he read, those who gave him praise or those who were related to him have each task. So I took on the task of distributing the commanders belongs equal to the North Koreans around me. As Kim Il-sung wrote in his memoir, the world is the enemy's world in the day, and it's our world at night. I would stay up all night distributing the building materials to the local residents and began to raise the funds to buy a pump as a form of payment. Unfortunately, I was nothing more than a thief and cockroach that Kim Jong-un and the North Korean leaders talk about. But from Kat's point of view, I was like a Robin Hood and a person who was making a world where we could all live together. And so, by using various opportunities and selling things every night, I bought a cell phone after a year of work. However, it was difficult to secretly own a phone in the military, and it was not too easy to learn Chinese while doing various tasks. After a lot of calculation, it was clear that it would take a long time to learn Chinese and go to South Korea via China. So next, I chose the defect via the sea and started researching it. Just as I was thinking about how I would make this happen, I heard that a soldier working on a coastal ship escaped to South Korea by boat, but I didn't have any means to go to the sea. All I had in my head was how I could get to South Korea safely and quickly. Then suddenly I got a unique idea that suddenly crossed my mind. This was an ingenious idea from my experience of carrying out my years as Robin Hood. It is very difficult today to survey the surroundings on rainy and windy days because someone cannot see far and it is hard to hear. The human physiology is similar. They don't want to go out when it rains and move over. Sentry soldiers are not afraid to stop the rain because it's hard to dry their uniform when it is soaked. So on rainy day, there are more Robin Hood and thieves in North Korea. Those who rob the common person's house are thieves, and those who seek their hard work from the commoners are considered righteous. Kim Jong-un's bandits steal at any time of day or night. I'm going to end my video here, hoping that the thieves will be gone as soon as possible. If you liked this video, please press subscribe and like button. Thank you. See you later.